You know, I grew up in northeast Minneapolis, and then when I got out of college, I moved up to the Iron Range, up to Hibbing, and I was so happy because all the Polak jokes I had endured for my whole life became Finlander jokes. And so I wasn't the butt of the jokes anymore, and I thought that was really neat. And I still remember a couple of those Finlander jokes. They're sort of like the Swedish and Norwegian jokes, but they use Toivo and Eino and Lena. Excuse me. So Toivo is at home, and his house catches fire. And he quickly picks up the phone and he dials 911, and the dispatcher tells the dispatcher, "My house is on fire." And she says, "Don't worry, Toivo, we'll take care of it right away. Why don't you tell us how to get there?" And Toivo thought for a moment. He says, "Don't you have those red trucks?" Now, this is almost the same joke, but it's a little different. Toivo and Lena had been married for like 50 years, and one day Lena died. And Toivo didn't know what to do. So he called 911. The dispatcher said, he said, "Lena died. I really don't know what to do." And the dispatcher says, "Don't worry, Toivo. We'll take care of everything. You don't have to worry about a thing. So just now, what street do you live on?" Toivo goes, "Well, I live on Eucalyptus Street." The dispatcher says, "Well, can you spell that for me?" Toivo pauses and he goes, "How about if I just drag her over to Oak Street?" At this time, I'd like to introduce some people, some special people in our department who want to bring greetings to Commander Ash. We'll start with, she's not tall in stature, but she's tall in accomplishments and leadership. I'd like to introduce Department President Shirley Frederick.
Thank you, Al. Please be seated. Thank you. This is Mike's night. And you know, it's nice and quiet here. Dee Dee's not here to say, "Stand up, Shirley." I get so used to it, I kind of miss it. So you did a pretty good job saying it nicer. Well, Mike, it has been a fantastic year, and I've enjoyed every bit of it with you, and I think we've accomplished a lot for our veterans, our servicemen and women and their families. And so there's really not a whole lot that I want to say other than I think I had a fantastic commander this year. And Therese, thank you for letting me share with him this year. She didn't let me share everything, but I did get the hugs. And so I have just a little bit of something for you, Mike, just something to say thank you.
Lots of gift cards. Ooh.
Well, nobody would tell me what he liked and what he did not like.
If he likes gifts, he likes anything.
Now, Therese, those are his, for him.
Above and beyond. Don't fall. No. Thanks for doing a great job. Honey, do I have glasses? It has been a farce working with you. Your service is beyond. Oh. It's been an honor to serve with you as we traveled the state promoting our programs that we do so much for the veterans, servicemen and women and their families. Continue to be the person you are. Shirley, Department President, thank you very much.
He has led the Department of Minnesota for the Sons of the American Legion this past year, and the SAL is once again knocking on the door of all-time high in membership. Detachment Commander John W. Affolter.
Thank you, Al. You're one of the few people that have used my middle initial all year, too. I appreciate it. Okay, I guess I've seen this man several times this year. I think it started out after department convention. Detachment, then department convention, and then the legacy run. And actually, I follow the legacy run. I call my white van a 170-inch wheelbase, 9-foot high white Harley, honorary Harley. And after tonight, or after department convention, I think you may be able to go on the legacy run, and here's something, and your son went on the run. I've got one for you to give to him too.
Oh, wow. Live to ride, ride to live.
Yeah. And then, from the detachment of Minnesota, this little gift here. Yes, you're welcome.
You worked hard, really hard. No, you didn't really work. No, I didn't. You put in the hours, battled the frustrations, gave your blood, sweat, and tears. And now it finally all paid off. He's done with softly. Congratulations. He didn't sign his name, which is probably good because it's incredible to me that people can't pronounce Affolter. It's a pretty easy name to. It's not as easy as Ash, but we can't all be that lucky. But it's like, pretty easy to. And it was cool that he threw in the middle initial too. But thank you, John. I appreciate it, and I appreciate working with the Suns this year very much. And the important part.
They get the ball, they reload. LeBron James in the post. He's so patient with the basketball.
Whoa. A beautiful Seiko watch.
And thank you again. At least they didn't put the S's in my name, though. One bowling tournament they did, and I wasn't too happy with the bowling program that year. So, but it's been great year working with you, and I say I hope to see you on the legacy run this fall. Thank you.
He has represented Minnesota at the national level for many years, holding a position in the NEC's crucial resolution subcommittee, Minnesota's National Executive Committee man, Ray Desert.
Thank you, Al. Thank you for the kind introduction. Thank you. Well, honored guest, Commander Mike, Ash family, guests and friends. I bring you greetings from National Commander Dan Dellinger and alternate NEC Marlin. I did talk to Butch Miller, and I know he really wanted to come here. He would have driven if his girlfriend didn't have another appointment. But what a crowd. What a crowd, Mike. It's a tribute to you. The first thing before you schedule anything, you should look at what happened on that date. And in 1838, John Wilkes Booth was born, and that's not a good start to this thing. Then in 1924, J. Edgar Hoover was appointed the head of the FBI. So I don't know if that was the forerunner of the NSA spying. And then in 1986, Tommy Lee, drummer of Motley Crue, marries Heather Locklear. Pamela who? So, but anyway, you're a tough guy to try to get some information on it. I need to do some real hard investigating, but I found two people I could really trust. Robin Pickery and Dee Dee Buckley. And they never lie. Robin had a bunch of stories about you and Larry Ryan growing up, but I can't repeat some of them here. In fact, I had to delete one. But he said a girl called you guys and said, "Come on over. There's nobody home." So you and Larry went over there, and he was right. Nobody was home. So. Yeah, Robin, this was something I was really surprised. He said that you and Larry were interested in law enforcement in your early years. And you guys had established a neighborhood watch. And that's until she closed her curtains. But anyway, we hear Mrs. Ash keeps calling you the world's most perfect husband. I was talking to Dee Dee Buckley the other day, and she said you auditioned and were awarded a part in a summer theater play, playing a husband who has been married for 30 years. I heard Mrs. Ash say, "Great start. Just stick to your dreams and you'll soon receive a speaking part." But seriously, Commander, I want to thank you for your service to our country, your service to our veterans, our community, to our state, and to our nation. Teresa, I want to thank you for giving us Mike this year. I know that it took him away from a number of family functions, but he survived all right. He didn't get real skinny, so. But anyway, Commander, I want to say congratulations on a great year, and may God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
She has brightened many Legion and auxiliary meetings all year long with her humor and her enthusiasm. Past auxiliary honorary junior president Caitlin Fernland.
So first I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak up here. I didn't know that until they sat me down and gave me cake, so. But I do want to thank all of you for all of the support and everything that you've done for me and the juniors. And I also want to thank Commander Ash for, even though he throws Air Force jokes at me all the time, he still supports my idea into joining the Navy. And I thank you. I do leave July 16th, and I'm just kind of taking in as much as I can before I leave. I really thank you all for everything that you've done for me. All of you who remember me as this tiny little girl, like running around, doing my thing. Now I'm still a tiny little girl, but I'm wearing heels. So. And I also am a proud senior member as of April 12th, our department junior conference. And I make it very well known that I'm a senior member now, that every time we vote, I go, "Aye," as loud as I can. So, but thank you so much. I am so proud to be part of this organization, and I'm so proud that I could have you as a commander this year. It was very fun, and you are very funny. So, so here's a little something, just kind of as a little memorabilia.
Again, that open shot is a byproduct of a great ball.
Thanks for a great year, the perfect couple.
He's
got picture of her and I, and my wife and I, so I'm not sure which one is the perfect couple. And on the other side, it's actually like a box. Got all kinds of neat stuff. Go for Danny and the he's loud and he's a big got a big enough mouth. it's got the SAL commander and me and Caitlin and the president all in a picture. It's a beautiful picture.
For a unique Mother's Day gift you can customize for Mom, come see Shane Company's family collection. Select either 14...
When I was asked to be the MC tonight, Teresa took me aside and urged me to really give Mike a good roasting. And you know, like sort of like Ray said, it's hard to roast somebody who's not only a perfect husband but a perfect commander. So I racked my brain to come up with something on Mike, but I really couldn't come up with anything. I've had a chance to spend a lot of time with the commander this year, and I can tell you he's a funny guy. He's really a funny guy. In fact, after 2 drinks, he's really a funny guy. And after about 4 drinks, he's hilarious. And I don't know after 5, that's 4 is my limit, so. I do have one story. A few years back when Commander Conway was commander and Mike was the membership director, and we were touring National Commander Rabine across northern Minnesota. Now sometimes these trips can be a little tedious and a little, you know, long miles between stops, and so sometimes we would doze off, you know. Hopefully not the driver, but the rest of us would. Lyle was driving. Lyle Foltz was the adjutant then. He was driving. Well, somewhere north of Walker and south of Baudette, Mike apparently drifted into dreamland. And when he awoke, or maybe he wasn't awake, he suddenly shouted, "Look out for the deer!" Well, you can imagine the effect this had on the rest of us in the car, in the van. Lyle and I were in the front seat. We're, you know, with the adrenaline pumping, and we're looking out, you know, trying to locate the deer, and National Commander's trying to see the deer, and Commander Conway's trying to see the deer. There was no deer. So with our hearts pounding about 200 beats a minute, Mike quietly announced, "Oh, I guess there wasn't a deer." Well, it was no big deal, and these, you know, you can use that kind of humor sometimes on these trips, and it, you know, it hardly slowed us down at all. We just Lyle had to make a stop at Walmart to get some new shorts. Other than that, I can't think of anything that is roastable about Commander Ash. In fact, if you look at his service record, you won't find anything there worth roasting either. Mike was almost in the military. He was in the Air Force. He was an intelligence analyst, which in the modern parlance would be called a spook. Yes, Mike was a spy. He had his own number, 0013. Ash, Mike Ash. He liked to gamble at luxury hotels. He liked fast cars, fast women. He liked his martinis, both shaken and stirred. Of course, because of the nature of his work, I'm unable to divulge exactly what Mike did for those 21 years in the Air Force. Let me just say this. You remember the end of the Cold War? That was Mike. You remember the riot at Tiananmen Square in Beijing? That was Mike. He was operating under his alias at that time, One Hung Lo. You remember the operation that found and killed Osama bin Laden? That wasn't Mike. But Mike had been to Como Park Zoo on that very day and had personally visited with several seals. So. North Korea, you talk about infiltration. Do you think that it's a coincidence that Mike bears a striking resemblance to Kim Il-jung? I don't think so. I mean, why do you think we're having this bull caca? After all those years, the Air Force had to find a safe place for Mike to retire and go underground. It says in his resume that Commander Ash is now a senior account clerk in the Minneapolis Public Schools. Right. We don't really know what he's doing, but we can be assured that he's still of service to his country. We know that being commander of Minnesota's largest and best service organization isn't all that he's up to. His country still has use for Mike's espionage skills, and we're sure that someday we'll get more insight into the commander's real skill set. Afghanistan, Iran, the Ukraine, Ash, Mike Ash. Just don't wake him up suddenly from a nap. As many of you know, our keynote speaker for the night, Butch Miller, had to excuse himself for health reasons. But do not despair. We have a replacement who is taller, better looking, funnier, and stranger. To introduce our speaker tonight, we have past 4th District Commander and past Department Vice Commander and the godfather of the 4th District, John Grams. John?
Thank you, I hope. I have something to, before I introduce this distinguished guest, I have something to say about Mike. If you read the sign over there, and you older guys from the 5th District, have somebody read it for you. It says, Mike Ash, candidate for Department Commander 2013-2014, Department of Minnesota. Mike called me up before the state convention. He said, John, will you do me a favor? Will you read my nominating speech? And I said, what the hell for? Nobody's running against you. He said, well, they all do it, so why don't you come up here and do it? I said, thank you, I will. I read the speech. Nobody stood up at first. All at once I had 20 guys come up and say, I want to be commander after that speech. Anyway, if you look on your program, you will see that the next speaker is Butch Miller. Well, Butch cannot be here tonight. He thought that being in Indiana having heart surgery was much more exciting than being in Minnesota. I don't blame the guy. So we had to search far and wide and found out our Minnesotan to speak. We thought if they lived in Minnesota, they could not leave the state for whatever reason, that being themselves and their probation officer. He's been voted one of the finest minds in Hutchinson, which is a lot like being named to the 10 best dressed list in Russia. Don is an avid motorcyclist. He is an assistant road captain on the National American Legion Legacy Scholarship Run. Throughout his many years, he has always taken the road less traveled. Some say it's because he's independent, creative, and adventurous. His wife says it's because he never asked for directions. As a pilot, he is instrumental rated with commercial and multi-engine endorsements and served on the Hutchinson Airport Commission as a pilot. He has the following tattooed somewhere on his body. Oh, I wonder where that could be. The three worst things to hear in the cockpit Don says, as the second officer saying, "Oh, shit." The first officer says, "I have an idea." The captain says, "Hey, watch this." He is also a licensed part-time police officer in the city of Hutchinson. Boy, that's something. No, they got rid of you in a hurry, didn't they? As part of his test, the police chief posed the following. As a recruit, you'll be faced with some difficult situations. What would you do if you had to arrest your wife? Don replied, "Call for a backup." Don retired after 31 years as a 3M employee, working with lubricant and vibration analysis in Hutchinson. I don't need to say any more about it. Remember, folks, I just introduced them. I don't guarantee them. Without further ado, I would like you to give a warm welcome to our very own past department commander, Don Pancake.
Thank you. Who's roasting who here? You know, you must have talked to Butch Miller after I did, because I called Butch and I said, Butch, I have to step into your spot for Mike Atch's testimonial. Could you give me a little hand on that, what you kind of want to do? And he goes, Mike who? And I said, well, Mike Ash, commander up in Minnesota. Oh, Teresa's husband. And so then we kind of got going, and it worked out. It worked out okay. I look at my year, and when I was the commander last year, my theme, of course, was every day is Veterans Day. That is probably one of the easiest themes that a commander could have in the American Legion. It just fits. But Mike picks up a challenge. Mike's theme is communications. It's one of the biggest challenges to be in front of the American Legion, and leave it to Mr. Ash to pick that up and run with it. And with the Teresa right there, we know what she tries to do in communications and the things that know, and they're quite a team. And I looked up dedication and devotion, and I tried to find something to say about dedication and devotion, and they're basically almost the same thing. But yet, Mike is so devoted to what he does in the American Legion, and he's dedicated to the cause of what we do in the American Legion. And as he's traveled around the state, he's done a great job. Matter of fact, Mike, as he's traveling around, he was up in one of the legions up in northern Minnesota, somewhere up in the Iron Range, I guess. And anyway, they had door prizes, and Mike, he won a door prize, and he brought it home. It was a toilet brush. And he was so excited that he used it all the time. And then Teresa asked him one day, Mike, how you getting along with your with what you got? How'd you like that prize? And he says, well, he says, I use a toilet brush every day, but he says, I think I'm going to go back to paper. And Mike's willing to accept the challenge, and he must have rose to the occasion to do that one. I don't know, but this year is Project Legionville, and quite frankly, for a commander to pick up Legionville, I remember a year ago when I said, a year and a half or more, whatever it is, I said, my project's going to be Legionville. And I had people tell me, And no commander in his right mind is going to use Legionville for a project. And it was a great project last year. It's building this year, and it's going to be a great project again, and the commander will be successful with it. And it's a tough one, and you just make sure you help him out, and it's going to work for him. But just being around a person like this, I've only got to know Mike in the last few years, and this winter, I'm on the Veterans for Veterans committee, and I got to meet the guy or work a little bit with him, and we had to make some changes this year, and we were working on this, and yet Mike in his mind said, I don't like what you guys are trying to do. And I tell you, when Mike digs his heels in, Teresa, you got a problem, because I don't think you can even get him to move. But we did work through it, and it worked out fine. But you have a commander that with the dedication, devotion, his project communications, and what he's done for the American Legion this year, and his travels, and where he's been. And there's a lot of funny stories. There's always funny stories, and I had some really good ones, and my wife said, no, you're not going to do that. So I slid this one under the covers here, but, God, that must have hurt. You're quite a guy, I'll tell you. But I know we got a lot of program, and people know that I can talk for a long, long time, and Al did a tremendous job tonight. I'm thinking, I got to follow this act. This is great. I mean, I need a day's speech out there, and I got a hold of Al, and I ran a couple things, and Al come back, and he said, what do you think of this one, Commander? And we'll see what they think about it in Dassel this year. But Al has always been there to help me, to help a commander that's seating, a commander that's been, and a commander that's to be. And Mike, Teresa, you guys are just, you're having a year, you're having a hoot. And, just living with the communications and PR director, that's got to be a challenge in itself. And especially when no matter what you do, you got to say, it's my wonderful PR commissioner person, and it's just, but it's been an honor, and I don't want to go on, and I just want to thank you for doing the job you did. Thank you for doing the job you're going to do. The fun part is coming. The miles will start to drag down now, and maybe another 10,000 or so. You'll be down there, but I want to thank you for letting me just rattle a little bit. But thank you very much.
Generally enough time if the Nets can whip the basketball to get at least 2, if not 3 dribbles.
Okay, we've reached a point in the program where we're going to have some presentations from the audience, but don't start lining up yet, because we're going to start with... Not yet. We're going to start with a very special one-of-a-kind presentation. We had asked for the Blue Collar Comedy Tour, but somehow we ended up with the Blue Capper Comedy Tour. And would Larry and the rest of the crew please come to the front?
They're going to the video to look, but that ball was out of his hands with about 0.4 left on the clock, so it will count. And tonight's game being brought to you by Subway. Treat your taste.
It looks like Larry and Tom Conway and Mark Mitzit.
By Samuel Adams. Step up your game and enjoy the game with the Samuel Adams Boston Lager. Samuel Adams, by Parasol Shaving Cream, America's leader for close shave. Close Shave America. This is the NBA on ESPN.
Losers don't know. I've known Mike for about, I'm going to.
All right, Mike.
Those of you don't know, I've known Mike for about 40 years.
fight, who?
And believe it or not, despite his background, there is a book on Mike's fight. There it is.
Little Caesars lunch combo. Hug and
I'll let Mark start it off. For those who don't know, Mark is following
Oh, gee. Can you hear me?
What?
AC recharging is fast and easy.
I'm just taking a few notes here about Mike.
34A refrigerant at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
This is his life story. On the other side, no, this side.
Oh, okay.
Wait. Hold on. As you can tell, we are professional.
With aluminum bottles. It's made of one.
We have to adorn the commander appropriately.
So you know it's cold. It's tall and sleek, so it's refreshing. And here comes a twist. It's reclosable, so you know it's always up for whatever. Bud Light reclosable cool twist aluminum bottle. Something new. Missouri. At
Mike is a year older than I am, actually. Larry and I went to high school together at St. Paul, Washington, on Wright Street. I'd just like to say hello to our St. Paul native, Mike, and all our friends here from outstate, like Minneapolis and Hastings, Owatonna, all those places. Mike was an explorer in high school. He and Larry were high school explorers. My son was an explorer. And I asked Mike for some advice, and he said, I don't have any. So, as you can see, that really worked for him. How am I doing so far? After they got out of the Explorers, the city had to implement some new policies. They required people that were in the Explorers to be able to read and write. I'm sorry, Larry, you fell in there because Mike and I went to different schools together. He was a year older than I was, and I actually went to Highland. He went to Highland Park. I was actually there one time, and it was really nothing special. So. And we actually have a relative in common, Uncle Fritz. Now, those of you that were at the when I was past district commander president, I brought up about Uncle Fritz, and he weighed 500 pounds. He had 250-pound testicles. Everybody thought he was half nuts. But other than that, he was okay. And like Al said, after high school, Mike wanted to join the service, but he settled for the Air Force. I'm sorry. And Mike is one of the 4th District people that joins all the other fabulous 4th District men like John Grams and Virgil Pershing. Now you might say, why Virgil? Because he's in the 5th District, but when they were in, there was only one district. And it was called the Territory. John's favorite horse was Brown. Mike's 2 uncles were instrumental in inventing things. Uncle Rasmus and Uncle Gordon, or his father actually is. His father was Rasmus, and Gordon was his uncle. Rasmus invented the pointed stick to pick up litter. And then his grandfather, Gordon Pufufnik, he's the one that actually put it into use, turned it around, and poked it in the ground. You want to say something for a while? Or am I doing?
You care?
And for Al's and on, I didn't want to tell any Polak jokes because I'm Polish too. Where is Al? Don't ever stand behind me, Al. But these, we were on Rice Street, and these two Polish guys were walking down the road, and they saw a dog across the street licking himself. The one Polak says to the other one, he says, "Geez, I wish I could do that." The other one says, "Yeah, but you better pet him first." Pet the dog. Good Irish joke. Well, see now, Mike, were you in the last draft class? When the draft ended, you were 72. The draft ended because I didn't have to sign up, but I volunteered, and I was one of the first in the state actually. They were. Randy, I'm sorry, but I was too rugged for the Marines. We all know Mike and Tom are great friends. I was really surprised when Mike married Teresa. Anyway, I'll let Tom talk now. I'd like to say something at the end.
Okay.
No, I mean not Mike's end, because who knows when that's going to be. But Mike, nice talk.
Well, as Mark said, you probably know that Mike and I have been friends for quite a few years. Actually, we were district commanders. I didn't know him. I didn't get to meet him until really went to, we became department vice commanders and went to Indianapolis. And we happened to get stuck together in the same room. Now we got, Mike's not a very talkative person. He got in the elevator, never said a word. Walked into the room. I went over to where my bed was and got ready to clean up my suitcase. And Mike walks in, throws his suitcase on the bed, and went right out the door. We thought, oh, this is going to be exciting. Well, I got all done, and I thought, well, I think I'll go down to the bar and have a drink. And got down there, and there was Mike sitting in the bar, and he says, when do I join you? Didn't say a word. I said, okay. Just sat down, ordered a drink, and we had 3-4 drinks, and he said, it's getting kind of boring in here. He said, yeah, me too. He said, maybe we should find someplace else to go. Yeah. So we asked the bartender, I said, where's a good place to go? And he said, what are you looking for? Well, we're looking for a little live music, you know, girls dancing around or whatever you want to see. And he said, well, he said, I got a perfect place for you to go. And I said, okay. So what's the name of it? It's called the Slippery Noodle. Yeah. Oh. Well, I'll give Mike the directions. So he told Mike where to go. Well, we walked out the door, and we couldn't decide if we were supposed to go left or right. Well, I said, we got to go to the monument. I said, you got the directions. Didn't he tell you that? I guess he did. So we went off that way. Walked around the monument down there. Big circle around. There's got about 5 streets going down different directions. So which street was it? I don't know. So you got directions. Yeah. I said, okay. So we stood there for a while, and all of a sudden Mike says, well, I'm going to go over and ask these 2 young ladies over in the corner how to get to the Slippery Noodle. Okay. So I stood there, and I watched him walk over there, and he was talking to the girls, and all of a sudden they turned around, they took off running. Mike comes back. I said, what do you say to them? I asked them where the Slippery Noodle was. I said, Mike, bar, Slippery Noodle bar. Well, we didn't get any directions, so we walked around that monument a couple more times, and finally got the bright idea. So I'm going to go over and ask these bikers where the Slippery Noodle is. And I thought, make sure, Mike, bar, Slippery Noodle bar. Well, he did that, and we got the right directions. We're heading down the street. We're walking and walking and walking. Come to a stoplight. Looked in front of us, and there was this big old tunnel, an underpass. dark as could be. Pretty soon here comes this big tall kid up to the next to us. He's from Wisconsin. I said, where are you going? He said, I'm going to Slippery Noodle. I said, so are we. Mike said, I ain't walking through that tunnel. I can't see anything. Well, we never got to the Slippery Noodle, never found the Slippery Noodle. We talked about that for I don't know how many years, about going to Slippery Noodle. We really missed out. Well, 5 years later, we're back in Indianapolis again. Of course, Slippery Noodle comes up. I said, oh, let's go see if we can find it. I'll get directions. I said, oh, not again. Well, he come back, I got directions. I said, okay. I said, but I got a better idea. I said, what's that? We'll take the shuttle bus. Well, if you've probably been watching his machine up here, he had his Slippery Noodle shirt on. And he was going to wear it tonight, but Teresa said no. Not doing that. But you're talking about Teresa and Mike. How many here, show of hands, have heard the words, my perfect husband? Show of hands. How many have heard it more than once? Think about what I go through when I go over there and stay with them. All I do is, when she says it, I just look at her and smile, and I look over at Mike, and he rolls his eyes backwards. But when they asked me to come up and talk, I really didn't have anything to say about Mike. I kept thinking about it, and I said, geez, I can't think of a thing that we did that was really that bad other than that Slippery Noodle thing. And I come to the conclusion, maybe Teresa's right. He is the perfect husband. Okay, Larry's going to yak.
Back toward the blue comedy thing. We all know Jeff Foxworthy, and you might be a redneck. Well, we found some indicators on Mike that says you might be the department commander. If you scheduled the Legion Family Twins game the same day as 5 district conventions, you might be the department commander. If you married a girl that's so far deep in the country, you had to teach her that the last 4 words of the national anthem are not, gentlemen, start your engines, you might be the department commander. If you've ever caused the National Security Center to lose satellite tracking of every Soviet sub in the world, you might be the department commander. Who did it?
Every single one?
Every last one of them.
Where were they?
Well, they don't know. He hit a button someplace. A little background on that. In the Air Force, for promotions, you have to study for 2 tests. One is general Air Force knowledge, and one is on your job. Well, being the clandestine undercover agent Mike was, he had to study at work because he couldn't take the books out of the building. And so he decided to try something he read in the book. And he said, okay, that was fun. Then he got done work and went home. The next morning, his phone's ringing. What did you do? True story. They had lost tracking of all the Soviet submarines in the world. Did you get promoted on that one? No, that was
It belongs to the VA.
Nice shot. If you ever hit an unmarked squad car with your Maverick grabber when you weren't in the car, you might be the department commander. Verified this is a true story. Mike's brother Pat's sitting at the back there. Mike had done a tune-up on his Maverick grabber at his buddy Wally Opine's house. Wally's dad was a St. Paul cop. He brought the unmarked home to grab a bite to eat. You're really not supposed to do that, but it's unmarked, who's going to know, right? Mike gets done tuning up the grabber, which is parked a little ways up the driveway, and he reaches through the window and turns the key. It's a clutch. It backed up. Right down the side of the squad car. No report written. Let's see. Oh, If your dad decided to move out of the neighborhood because it was going to hell and moved 6 blocks, you might be the department commander. If your radio call sign in the Air Force was Kimchi Cowboy, you might be the department commander. I'll save that one. If you ever showed your ID to your best friend at the Air Force Reserve Gate and forgot who he was, you might be the department commander. Mike, being the big spender that he is, even though he's retired, he still goes to the BX for his soap and shaving cream and everything. Well, I don't know, they cost more than Kmart. But I was working with DOD police. I was standing in the main gate at the reserve base one day, and Mike rolls up, and as soon as I saw him, I said, "Damn, it's Mike. We hadn't seen each other since we retired." And he just kind of looks, and I'm like, "What's your ID, sir?" "Yep." "Thank you. Thank you."
I just want to relate to that story. Our dear friend Larry here was out there. I went to the PX one day. We had the Smokey the Bear hat on and the sunglasses. Sir, you have to pull up. We have to empty your truck out. What? I said, "Hi, Mark," and I looked. Well, this is a general crowd. I won't say what I said, but it was funny when it happened.
So yeah, I had to yell at Mike, and he turned around and goes, "Oh, damn, Larry. Thanks for remembering me, pal." If you referred someone to the Air Force recruiter and you're still friends 41 years later, you might be the department commander. No, I can't bring myself to read that one. I held on. Finally, if you scheduled your testimonial dinner on the opening day of fishing season in Minnesota, and the day before, no, this is the opener. Tomorrow's Mother's Day, okay? Well, we got a couple other former cops here, Tom. Yep. Yeah, I thought so. You might be the department commander. All kidding aside, Mike, it's been one hell of a year. We were preparing a slideshow, but thanks to your perfect wife saying, "Oh, by the way, I didn't have a problem with the iPad the other day. I was coming over picking up the pictures." She says, "Oh, here's some pictures. I got everything from Denny, and I got some of me, that I've taken." I said, "Okay, fine. So I'm going to put together this slideshow." Yeah, I stuck the discs in my laptop, and there's like 1,200 pictures. Let's pick from them. But I guarantee you there's going to be a hell of a show at the department convention. So, with that, Al, we'll turn back to you. Oh, Mark had something to say at the close.
Certainly frustrating to lose and to get brought
Hello, come on. That worked. Turned it on. Got it. Yeah. Anyway, I'd like to thank Mike for being department commander and for not seeing me all year. I'll probably be back this year now that you're done. But I was a vice commander under Mike and served booze at his hospitality room, and pretty much. One thing I know, Mike doesn't need any chapstick because he didn't kiss any butts. And I love him dearly, and thank you very much. And Teresa, and I'd like to say Happy Mother's Day to you, Mike, because I've heard more than one person call you a mother. That is all.
Well, looking at him over there, I often wonder when we first met how in the world could him and I ever end up like we were. St. Cloud one time, we're both sitting there having a good drink with a department convention, and pretty full, and we decided one of us was going to run for department commander, and we didn't know which one was going to run first. So we made a pact. Whoever ran first, the other guy would be his membership director. Well, it turned out I ran first, and Mike was my membership director. He did a good job. Did a good job. But like I said, who had ever thought he'd gone any further, and both of us being aware of these past department commander hats. So thank you for everything, Mike. And I just got to say one thing about Mike. Woods what a great golf player he is. British Open, he used a 2-iron. The announcer said, there's only 2 people in this world that can hit a 2-iron. God and Tiger Woods. Well, they have to add a third person to that. I play golf with Mike. This is 2-iron on his drives, and he hits it perfect. It's the rest of the game that sucks.
I think it's good. Thank you, Larry, Mark, and Tom. We're going to start with the presentations now. As you come to the microphone, please introduce yourself. We're going to start. I just found out from the perfect membership, our public relations chairman, that Teresa is going to start, and then we'll bring up the team with Tom Fernland. But Teresa first.
Who? I really want to thank you all for coming. First of all, I want to read a letter from a friend of Mike's that couldn't be here. And his name is John Garcia. John Garcia is a very good friend of mine. They met when they both worked at the Minneapolis Public School together. Mike went into finance and manages all the money for the school district, and John decided to become a principal and manage all the kids. Mike, this is from John. He says, "Hi, Teresa. Unfortunately, we'll be out of town this weekend. Please give Mike our warmest wishes on his fine accomplishments. We need to connect for dinner and celebrate a little bit more. My words for Mike. Mike Ash is my brother from another mother. He was the most masculine school secretary at Bethune on most days." That's what he started out in the public school district. "He was an exceptional travel companion in Las Vegas, except for the tidy whities. Someone should tell this guy about pajamas." "Michael is a friend to all. I don't recall ever hearing a bad word about Mike. Then again, my hearing's not so good. Mike, the truth is, you're the best of all of us. A finer man you will not meet. A better friend than we deserve. Congratulations on your I don't know why I'm the PR chairman. Yeah, exemplary leadership. A job well done. Your comrade, good friend, and John Garcia." Just real quick before we give this to him, you know, there's a lot of things that happen when you're commander, as Al has said. And one of the things happened while you're not Al, Tom. Tom was commander and Mike was membership director. On the National Commander Tour, the last night I had Tom's car and I went and picked the two of them up. Now, for those of you who know the National Commanders Tour or have been experienced it, the last night after the National Commander leaves their presence and after National leaves his, they have a few toddies. One or two or more. I was driving Michael and Tom. You're not Mike? Tom. Where's Tom? I was driving Tom home with Michael and I. I'm going to tell that story. And so as we're driving home, we're coming from up northern Minnesota through these small towns where there's one building which constitutes a town. And I'm driving 65 miles an hour. It's dark, and I didn't have my glasses on, and I can't see very well. And so as we're going through this woods, all of a sudden Michael, who's sitting in the front seat next to me, says, "There's a cop." And I said, "Where?" This is a true story. He says, "Behind you now." And so Tom is in the back seat. Now mind you, again, remember, a toddy or two or more. So as I pull over, this cop walks up and he says, "Ma'am, do you know how fast you were going?" I said, "We're in a town?" He said, "Yes, ma'am, it's 35 miles an hour." I wasn't doing that. Well, as he comes up to the window, Michael bows his head because, as we know, he's a man of few words. However, past Department Commander Tom Conway is not a man of few words. Because out of the back seat comes, "I'm a retired police officer." I'm like, "Shut up!" As the cop is like, "Ma'am, you were going, can I see your driver's license, your insurance?" And he says, "I'm a retired police officer." I'm like, "Shut up!" He didn't help. I got a ticket. Honey, this is from your family. And the first thing we want to give you is all the miles that have gone on the truck. There's been a lot of them. He has worn through his mats for the truck. Literally.
Just go to Everyone will be looking up to you. Now at AutoZone, get a 5-quart jug of Castro conventional motor.
And since we don't have enough stuff on our front porch, this is for you. Now, this is from our entire family. Amanda, Toby, Bree, would you please stand up? Amanda, stand up. That's our daughter. And sitting next to her is my sister, Melinda, my sister-in-law, Kathy. And for those of you who follow Facebook, please give a big, big welcome to my niece, Miss Emma. So, honey, this is from your family. We love you. His project is Legionville.
Congratulations.
You don't need to read the card. Why do you? Nobody wants to hear the card.
You're amazing.
He's my perfect husband.
For a paver for the American Legion paver program. Mike Hansen, our command,
Teresa, don't you have any standards? Sorry, Commander.
Yeah, Tommy got the best kiss on my wedding day.
Tom Furlan, could you bring up the Mike Ash's team?
Oh, we finally got the mic. We could bring up the department team. Okay. There's no wandering up here. That includes the district commanders, all the vice commanders, district commanders, officers. You know, like,
So look for that down the stretch here.
Wow, thing. You make my heart sing. You make everything groovy. Wow, thing. Wow, thing, I think I love you. But I wanna know for sure. Come on, hold me tight. I love you.
we got to say, Wild Thing just got laid, so. If anybody's familiar with the movie Major League, Charlie Sheen was called the Wild Thing. He was a pitcher there. And Charlie Sheen was going to be here, but he just knew he couldn't compete with you, so he decided not to. But it's kind of just a story that we came up with on the National Commanders Tour. And happened right at the beginning, actually. The commander had his reading glasses. I don't know if you want to tell the story, but I'll tell it anyways. He had his reading glasses with him when he left the house. Then I think at Perkins, before we got to where we wanted to go, he left them at Perkins, so he had to get another pair. And he stopped at the airport. And then the first post that we actually stopped to, he had to put those on. And he brought it up that he looked like Wild Thing. So at another stop then, and of course it was kind of urged by the National Commander's aide to bring it up, I actually introduced the commander as Wild Thing, our department commander, Wild Thing Mike Ash. So I was lucky I wasn't walking the rest of the way, but also the other thing, while we were on the tour too, the National Commander got a little worried because the commander's aide and I were talking in the back about our hot spots. So. But real briefly, well, I'll introduce everybody that's here. Your whole team. Part of the team is missing, but Vice Commander Mickey Ostrom, Vice Commander Denise Milton, Vice Commander Clinton Burt, Department Chaplain Richard Wogg, Vice Commander Joe Neeson, Sergeant at Arms Gary Olson. A lot of times I accidentally always introduce him as Roger Olson, but no resemblance. And then District Commander from the 4th, Carol Partridge. District Commander from the 2nd, Gene Walswald. District Commander from the 7th, Harold Meyer. District Commander from the 10th, Richard Jewell. Where am I at? Is that Mark? Over there. From the 3rd District, Mark Dvorak. I think that's everybody we've got. Oh, from the 9th, we've got Tom Norgard. And also on the list, we have, of course, your NEC, Ray DeZerk. You already met him. Am I missing anybody here? Alternate NEC, Marlon Ronning also. And Adjutant Randy Tesdo. I think he's hiding in the back unless he ran away. Historian Dennis DeLong. I always miss him because he's always right in front of me. Sorry. All right. We got a few gifts from you. You know, our budget was low, of course, this year. We got cut with the membership budget, so. But here's one of the gifts right here.
Got balls!
Before you go to that one, show that one too. Show this one. Yeah. I actually wanted him to start with this one, but it's actually a golf ball, Mark. We know that the commander does. Yeah, we knew the commander actually does a lot of golf, and that's not just a regular ball, Mark. You know, it's got the Air Force emblem, so it's an industrial Air Force ball, Mark, and it has to go along with the Air Force balls. I'm sorry, golf balls. Which we know, being Air Force, they're always accurate and they hit hard. So.
And a golf buddy.
Nobody probably knows what that is, but it's a golf buddy voice. It actually, you clip it to your hat or your belt, and when you're on the golf course, it'll tell you the distance from the pin. And I haven't looked at the instructions, but I think you might be able to actually record your wife's voice in there, and then you've always got the perfect wife with you all the time.
There's illegal 36 states.
Listen to me, Mark. What's it like?
Destination XL, all the best men's brands, waist size 38 and up. DXL, you're looking good at the end of the first half.
You want to mention, Commander, you know, definitely enjoy the year as your membership chairman and working with you as commander. It's been a very challenging position being department commander, especially keeping the commander stocked with Captain Morgan on the road.
Oh yeah.
But I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change anything with the world. Especially getting to know Mike and Teresa this year. It's been fantastic. We call it a, yeah.
It's great, so thank you. Apparently this is my last year on Earth. Thank you all for attending.
For those that don't know, I do work in the granite industry, so but we call it a lazy Susan. You can put it on your coffee table or on your in your kitchen, but it's something that you can always look at it. It'll remind you of your year. I actually had it on the counter at work, and a lady actually walked in and she said, "Where does that go on the grave?" So, but Commander, we know it's not the end of your year. but we know it's definitely the start of a much bigger and better things, and appreciate working with you this year, and I look forward to working with you in the future. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom, and thank you, entire team. I know it's going to be my turn later, but without these guys, I'm nothing. I'm the figurehead. I'm the one that gets to stand up here and take everything that they do right. They give me the credit, and I have to give it right back to them because I don't deserve it. I don't do anything. They do. And I appreciate it.
Since I'm still up here and I've got the mic and I can't give it back to Al, he's going to have to fight me for it, but I'd like to bring my wife up here real quick, and my daughter Caitlin, while we're here and get this through. Again, we want to thank you for everything. So these are a couple gifts for you and Teresa. Hope we get them right. Blue is you. Yep. I've got more testimonials to go to. I was going to reuse that. But we know you like to cuddle at home at the evenings, and you don't have that many alone during the year, but thank you.
4th District.
Well, Commander Mike, I talked to somebody who personally told me that you needed this. Unfortunately, you already got it. So if I would have known you were already getting it, I would have got you a new toilet brush. But so now you've got a set for your backseat driver. So it's another set of floor mats.
Oh, cool.
Set of floor mats. Somebody told me you needed them. They look very much like the other ones.
I wear spiked heels when I'm driving.
And these are all gifts from the 4th District, by the way. And a little something for in the summer. And and then something else, because it appears that Minnesota's never going to end our fall or winter, so we gave him something to last for the summer.
Thank you.
And there's one other gift from the 4th District that I don't have with me, but it's a check for $250 for Legionville in your name. And because you're a hard person to buy for, my wife and I tried to figure out what to get you. And I figured if I get you this, nobody else will get it for you. Fleet Farm, the Man's Mall. And there's a gift certificate on the front here.
Thank you, sir, very much.
Just one last thing. One day, actually, when Mike wasn't too busy, he and I went fishing, and Mike being being frugal, he said, let's just dig up our own worms. Well, I don't use worms for musky fishing anyway, but okay, I'll go along with this. So we went out and got a couple of shovels, and we went out to dig some up, and in my first shovelful, I pulled over this long, skinny thing with a lot of legs, and I said, how's this, Mike? He says, well, that's not an earthworm. I said, really? Well, what planet is it from? That's all I got.
We are.
Commander Mike, I hope you enjoyed your little dessert tonight. You like that?
You know, it's really difficult to sit here and listen to anybody talk and say anything serious. Look at that. I got my nose in kitty litter, and you guys are saying nice things.
It is pretty, isn't it?
It is beautiful.
Yeah. Anyway, Commander Mike, a little appreciation for you for being a fine commander. I've really enjoyed working under you this year. It's been a good year. It's been a fast year.
Today is the ultimate, ultimate high-fiving day. Everything's awesome, going your way. It's your chance to shine, to get to choose, to get your props. So celebrate big. The fun never stops.
And the only way to cure it was to go to Golfsmith.
Hey, knock it off over there, huh? I'll give you that knuckle sandwich.
Enhanced breathability. Only $169.99.
Yes, I do.
Anything for golf.
I pledge allegiance to NBA Game Time, the official app of the association. Be
Oh, it's a mantle clock. Now I hope they got the other one. What was that second? Department of Minnesota Commander Mike Ash 2013-2014 on the back of the plaque that I didn't see because I'm blind. Thank you very much, Gene.
Larry Ryan, get her done.
Get her done, that's right. All right. There's more than that, trust me. The wife saw that and said, "You need, now that you're done playing commander for a year, you can need somewhere to hang your hat." So, all seriousness aside, little something on Mike that a lot of people didn't know. Everybody knows where they were and what they were doing on 9/11. I was home trying to pretend that I was retired, and Mike was at work playing secretary, and we got the word, and of course we called each other and started talking, and he somehow I tracked down the email address for the director of the Retired Reserve Personnel Center. So I sent her an email and I said, "You got dibs on me for 2.5 years with the Retired Reserve, and that's what I trained for 20 years. Feel free to call me. I can be at 934th in 20 minutes. They actually emailed me back and said, "Well, it's a little early in the process, and we're not anticipating activating the Retired Reserve, but if we do, you're number one on the list." So I sent the reply to Mike. Next thing you know, I get an email back from him, says, "Well, if you're going to be the Lone Ranger, you're going to need a Tonto." He signed up too. So, yep. And Mike and I have tried to eagle each other to death over the last 20-some years. I think this time I might have topped you.
Says the land of free, the home because of the brave, Commander Mike Ash.
Surprise off the bench. Darren Williams with 10 to shoot. They reload Blatch. Against Bosch. Flips it up and under with a right hand and in. Brooklyn advances the lead to 47.
Tom Conway.
Andre Blatch, 13 off the bench.
Well, you have to excuse the wrapping paper here. I never really got a chance to do anything because I didn't think I was going to make it down, being field work was starting up north. Then I found out we're meeting at Legionville, so I hurry up and wrapped it up. I know Teresa's going to be there. So, there it is. Bomber jacket.
Bomber. Hope it fits.
Second half action for the Barclays Center. Game 3 is coming up next. I'm Kevin Winter. This is the NBA on ESPN Radio. It's lunchtime. You're hungry. We know how you feel. Your mouth wants Little Caesars. And your wallet wants a deal.
Thank you, Tom.
Little Caesars lunch combo, hot and ready, 11 to 2 p.m. at participating locations plus tax.
My name is Lucy.
In his best bib overalls, Tom Norgard.
Bi-weekly, that is direct deposit into my checking, but sometimes they can slap you with fees. But the problem with that is I have such a small income and I don't have much flexibility.
I missed your birthday party,
For me, finances are managed
but here's a belated card. I hope I put enough in there that you and I can have a drink after this is over.
American Express Serve, you have a full-service prepaid account that helps you handle your money simply and affordably. Sign up for direct deposit and we'll waive the $1 monthly fee.
Yeah. Hello. Test 1, 2, 3.
Express backing you up. This is what
Sorry, this card is just like you. It's sorry. No, it doesn't say that, but it's funny. Sorry, this card is late. I don't know. It's like lately my mind's been on vacation or something. I'm forgetting things, placing stuff, losing my train of thought. It sucks. Well, anyways.
That's easy. Just go to AutoZone today and get everything.
Merry Christmas. By the way, when's your birthday? I want to make sure I don't forget it. Tom and Doreen Norgard, thank you guys very much.
See store for restrictions and details. Yo, what's up? Right brain bacon here. I'm the bacon, better bacon. Bacon that makes a bold statement. We're talking major slices of thick, meaty bacon. I'm so big you could serve me to the presidents on Mount Rushmore. When I'm on the grill,
Oh, wow.
so incredible, it attracts guys faster than a half.
Work too.
You're kidding.
No, ma'am. I just wanted to confirm your ticket.com order for the game on the 12th. We'll get your official game tickets shortly.
Oh, well, that's great. Thanks, Tony.
Hey, Miss Chen.
Yeah?
I saw you wrote a review on the site stating Tony's overrated. Go Heat. What you mean about that? Miss Chen.
Get your valid regular season playoffs and finals tickets with NBAtickets.com. The only place to buy and sell authentic NBA tickets from teams and fans. Yes.
Situation to pick up a victory as 51-49 lead. Andre Blanche 13, Joe Johnson 12, LeBron James 18, but only 2 in the shot in the corner. It's game 3, second half action. Back to the Barclays Center with Jim Swarrow. Here's what Texas said.
Hi, Kevin. Thanks a lot.
Carl Hendrickson.
To average 14 minutes and 6 points so far in the postseason.
Carl.
9.5 minutes, 13.6 rebounds.
Commander Mike, it's just a small token of appreciation for the appointment of Carl Hendrickson, Chairman of Energy and Conservation, alias Weed and Feed. Weed and Seed. Anyways, thanks for the appointment again, Mike, and it's just a small token of appreciation, and congratulations on a great year again.
LeBron James 18 points, 16 coming in the first quarter. How do you expect he'll attack here to start the second half? A more passive second quarter in game 3.
I think what you're going to see LeBron do is he's probably going to play, depending on how this game goes, if it's close. I would bet out of the 24 minutes right now, just 2 to 4 minutes of rest. In this third quarter, the first 6 minutes of it, I think you're going to see him try to explode like he did in that first quarter. You know, and really go after the Nets offensively.
LeBron James got the game face working, kind of staring into the crowd.
Oh, yeah. Look at that baby. Nicky Caliber.
Dwayne Wade will also be on the floor for Miami here to start the third.
And you know what's interesting, too, looking at LeBron James, and as you mentioned, staring into the crowd, and they're all booing him, but most of the people are booing him.
And it's engraved. It says,
Taking pictures of him. If they didn't like this guy so much, why are they taking pictures of him?
this side points towards the enemy. No, it doesn't say that. It says Mike Ash, American Legion Department Minnesota Department Commander, 2013-2014. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Robin.
Commander, on behalf of Post 474 North End, your dad's post, originally, we want to give you a card and donation to your project, $250 for Legion.
Thank you. Thank you, Robin. Appreciate it very much.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is John Weiss. I'm Post Commander at Arcade Phil and Legion Post. Commander Mike and Teresa are God sent to our post. They've always come in, made a bright day. The only thing I have to say about the commander is he's the only person I know who's never been to Minot, North Dakota, who got PO'd. No, keep that up, please. He's the only person I know who got PO'd because he couldn't freeze his butt off marching in the Winter Carnival Parade. He hasn't missed one in 10 years except for this year, and we truly missed him. He showed up at the membership rally for the 4th District afterwards and was upset that he had not been given the time to march in the parade because he had to attend another function as department commander. And we still said, you know what, Mike, you were with us anyway. You'll always be with us no matter what. We love you at Arcade Phelan, and I have a little something here from Arcade Phelan and the 4th District. Open it up and pull it out. That's from your 4th District Legion Riders and Arcade Phelan Post.
Biggest lead of the night for Brooklyn. They're up 6 and possession. Here's Johnson from the right side. Lost it. Wade steals. Dwayne Wade the other way. No one in front of him. Takes it to the rim. The two-hand jam. Stealing score for Wade.
Joe Johnson just a little off balance trying to make the pass instead of just planting the feet, being more patient with it. Wade with the hand
Wade coming away shaking that right.
Thank you guys very much.
You get the bag too.
Oh, in the back.
All right. 9:54 to go in the third. 55-51 Brooklyn. Here are the Nets with Williams. Poked from behind unsuccessfully. Williams to the free throw line.
You getting warm up here, Mike?
I am.
Turnover, foul. Williams after the pass. Offensive foul on Derek.
This is your night, Mike. Is this thing working? I can't tell. You got to talk loud? I'm Jerry Block, Grand Chef de Gardou, Minnesota, 40 and 8 organization, the Fun and Honor Society, we call that. Right up here. There we go. And again, you do that well. I see. I see you're one of the riders too, huh? That's great. You got a lot of friends here being riders. You know, Mike was in a bar sitting there one night having a toddy, is that what you call it? Or 2 or 3. And a fellow walked into the bar and he says, "Who owns that pit bull outside?" Mike stood up and he says, "That's mine, what's it to you?" He says, "My Chihuahua just killed it." Well, what the hell, how'd he do that? He says, "I think it's stuck in his throat." There you go, Mike. Mike, this is a little gift from me to you. And you maybe have seen that around before, but I don't think you've seen one here tonight. But I think it's something you and Teresa can use. How do you like that tape there? Now there's a couple little things in here, so be careful a little bit there. You don't want to break that. But now you got a bar at home?
I will, yeah.
Well, there you go. There's a set of glasses I got here for you, and I think you'll like those. They got handle grips on them. They're little ladies on there. I think you like that.
They apparently have no clothes on.
No, heavens no. Now this one here is really special. Now you be careful about this one now. Maybe you've seen that before. Oh, you have? Well, I figured we got to pass it on to someone that can use it. No, you don't need it? Oh, yeah. Now, yeah, let's open that up. Yeah. Now be careful here. There's a little note in there.
It says, smoke this cigar if it pleasures your... Oh, if it's pleasure you seek while waiting for the Viagra, it lasts a week.
Now the cigar is for Teresa. While she's waiting for this Minnesota Viagra here, you know. There's a good sized Viagra there, and that gets passed around. Now, past Commander Chuck back there, he got that for a wedding present.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, and he says he says that you only lick it. You don't bite them off. You just lick them. He says it lasts a long time. So you remember that.
So Chuck, how many times did you lick it to get to the camera? There's a Tootsie Pop! And there's some about the UCLA Trojans or something.
U.S. issue. That's it. And there's a set of glasses in there. So, thank you, Mike. It's been a pleasure serving with you this year.
Jerry, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so very much.
First district.
Okay, a number of us in this room were here about, what, 6 weeks ago?
Yeah.
For your 70th birthday. Okay, the gentleman that's 80? Now that you're done being commander, you're going to step into retirement. I got you a special cane here. No, this is an actual walking cane. It's got a second purpose in life. You're going to have to look close. Here, Mike. The name on the front of it is your boot saver cane. Okay, the crew from Owatonna, plus Iota, crash, airborne. We got together, we got a little card for you. Poke a little fun at your golf game.
Boy, talk about an easy target. Sure is. It's a very well-built gentleman on the beach with a club. Or he's in the snow naked. God, I hope this visor doesn't make me look fat. And it's just signed by the folks from the 1st District who love me. Y'all can see this picture later. Apparently looks like, no, it actually looks like Mark Mitzuk with a haircut and a visor with no clothes on. So thank you for that vision of loveliness.
Okay, now we heard about your house over on Portland Avenue, and you got a big empty spot on the front porch. So if you want to lift that army blanket, you have our national symbol, the American Eagle, and there's a hole in the back. Keep your mind out of the gutter, folks. That'll hold the American flag for you proudly. Congratulations on a good year, Mike.
Thank you, John.
And then your vehicle is going to go to work. You see, students working in the Certified Tuition-Free Auto Training Program need to know how
Very nice.
to fix that vehicle inside and out. Once they're certified,
Even with me all the
on those vehicles, well, they go to work at a dealership or a garage around town. Maybe for one of their own dreams. You can be part of that by donating your vehicle to New York in Minneapolis.
Yeah, show it how it works. Some little birdie had told me that we're supposed to really roast you tonight. Okay. Remember that little eagle there?
Yeah.
I do have something in my bag for you on that.
The hassles of boat ownership. Pay one flat fee, and you'll have unlimited access to the entire fleet of
Here, you hold the microphone.
to cruising. Visit
Get out of here. There we go. Got an egg, you're going to have to sit on that. You can get another eagle. Only you could sit on it, though. Now, also, you're retiring, so I figure you're going to need a little help. You could be needing a little extra help. So I brought you some chocolate X-Lax. Now remember, years and years ago, we didn't have paper or anything?
I remember that.
See if I can find that a little. No, I got it better yet. I can't get it out yet. Where is it? There it is. Way in the bottom. A little nubbin for you to use to wipe yourself. But if you get it bad, I got 2 more for you. Remember though, you had the portable outhouse with Montgomery Ward and Sears catalogs, and you always had to go for the dark paper, not the colored. It kind of burned. But then, so I couldn't find any more catalogs, so I got that to help you out. And remember when Grandpa and Grandma and Mom and Dad would go to the store and get peaches, pears, and we thought, oh boy, this would be just perfect. We got the wrappings from, it was softer. Finally we got educated. We got a roll of toilet paper for you. But always it isn't, Sherman is not very kind to you. Mike? That's for you, Mike, not for you. James is putting into the Nets' hand, and the Nets' defense is playing into James' hand. Can't hold it.
I got this card for you there.
After Brook Lopez went down with a season-ending foot injury in December, but Andre Blatch has really been a thorn in the small ball defense for Chris Bosh in Miami. I have the luxury of
It's American Legion card. And I don't even have to put my glasses on. To express our deep sympathy to you in your loss. Glad to have you back soon.
Historian.
Hey, Mike. Been a pretty good year so far. We're having a good time. You noticed I have 3 books back there. By the end of the your time, you'll have about 6 books in total. My wife and I got you this, and I hope you like it.
As Bill Parcells used to say with the Giants, an adventure. They couldn't get their shots off easily. Right now they are.
7 straight for Brooklyn. Culver's pull up 20-footer, no good. Livingston the rebound. Brooklyn leading by 10. They got the ball and 5:13 to go here in the third quarter of game 3. And the Nets are spreading the field. Livingston against Ryan takes him.
This was a picture that was taken at National Convention last year.
Honey, when I moved up here, I belonged to the 1st District. Hey! They taught me everything I know, but since I got married to you, I moved into another district, which is the 4th District. And Jim Hessing, do you want to come up? Christy DePark is our post. We don't have a home, but y'all, we have the best adjutant in existence. And let me tell you why. Membership directors, listen up. He keeps us at 100% every year. Now, he doesn't have a computer. He doesn't have technology. He doesn't have a cell phone. He does all mailings. Now, here's the funny part. Here's his PR person. He writes all the newsletters and all the cards that go out, right? For the post, we have, small post. He'll get in the mail on Monday, please remove Joe Veteran. We're sorry we lost him. On Wednesday, he'll get another letter in the mail from Jim. Please add Joe Veteran. I don't know where he gets them. Michael has yet, after 30, 40 years of being in the Legion, not sure where he gets them, but he stopped even thinking to ask. He's just glad we're at 100%. I'd like to introduce the Christie to Park, Post 406, Adjutant Jim Hessing.
Okay. Well, Mike, on behalf of everyone from Christie Park, we could never really repay you for all that you've done. On the recommendation of Teresa, we have a present we hope you'll like. It's an American Legion jacket, and it says Mike Ash, Department Commander 2013-2014 from Christie Park, Post 406. So.
Well, he's been honored. He's been skewered and grilled and roasted and toasted. I think you can stick a fork in him. He's done. Please rise and give a hand to Department Commander Mike Ash.
Thank you. Thank you all very much. Have a safe trip home. Mitsuk, you're fluffy, buddy. And everybody who was there last night knows what fluffy is. Isn't that right, Lane? I want to thank everybody for everything. I'm just the department commander. Ask any of the past department commanders, they'll tell you the same thing. You guys do it for us. If you don't do the job, then it reflects on us. But you always do the job. You always come out and give 150%. And so much is looked at as far as, well, are you going to make goal? Whether it's membership goal, whether it's you're going to have the winner in the oratorical contest, or you're going to have the boys state president, all that stuff. But the thing is, if you give 120%, 150%, 200% like you guys do, you can't ask for any more. And I know that you do. So I appreciate what you do. All I have to do is not sleep a lot. Thank you very much. I've been doing that. Why don't you write nice speech for me? Oh, God, I love my wife. Yes, sir, you have a question?
Isn't it traditional to introduce your wife before you begin speaking?
Let me introduce my wife because nobody could hear her mouth back there without amplification from this microphone, of course. Teresa is my wife, my best friend, my inspiration, sometimes for jumping over a cliff, but she's my inspiration. And I love her, and I thank her very much for everything she's done. Some things I wish she wouldn't.
I said introduce, not canonize.
Oh, a canon, I never thought of that. Thanks, Mark. For the non-Catholics among you, thank you for the idea on the canon. I I want to thank my brother Pat for being here today. Stand up, bro. Yeah, make it red. Just in case you think, oh, I must have got some smoke in my eye. Oh, God. See, that's why it's easy to sit up here and stop it. It's easy to fight for the veterans. Yes, dear. It's easy to fight for the veterans. I feel like should be in a boxing ring here. Let's get ready. Yeah. It's easy to fight for the veterans because all you gotta do is stand up and yell. And all I have to do is yell at idiots in the Senate and the legislature, and that's easy. Because they just sit there and they don't understand big words anyways. And it's a good cause. No, it's the best cause. But we all need to do that. And here I'm afraid I'll go off topic here. I don't want to start one of my speeches on getting out there and talking to our legislature about fighting for our veterans, because I'll do that, because that's the way I am. But I won't do that. Hey, is any of these things ever ended with somebody dying? Anyways, I do have the headstone. You're right. I want to thank my brother for everything he's done for me. I want to thank John Grams. He taught my dad everything he needed to know about the American Legion. He really did. That's right. And John taught him everything he knew. And but I appreciate each and every one of you, so I'm not going to go through names or anything. But it's not just the Legion, it's the auxiliary, it's the SAL, it's the juniors. All you guys are just the ALR, not the riders, the ALR. Everybody, and the family and friends too, because they all fit into the picture. Amanda and Bree and looks like Emma and Melinda had to take off. And Toby over here doing the hard work. Yeah, right. But I do have the greatest family in the world. I wish my cat could have been here, because he's the best. He's the absolute best. Because all he does is meow at me when I say shut up. He just looks at me and goes away. That's right. Well, yeah, if you follow me on Facebook, you'll see all kinds of stuff on it. But I really do want to thank everybody, because you guys, without you, really, this wouldn't have happened. The 4th District got a commander after I don't know how many years.
Yeah.
And 19. As I said, nobody knows. 36, 44, 13, I don't know. But the thing is that it doesn't have anything to do with Mike Ash. Mike Ash isn't the commander. It's the 4th District said, pushed me forward. This department said that I was good enough to lead. And I'm doing my best. And I'll continue to do my best. And we still got a long, long road to hoe.
Well, that's easy. Just go to AutoZone today.
It's supposed to be, the testimonial is supposed to be the end of the year, but actually we've got 3 months left or something, and we will continue to be out there fighting for veterans, doing what we need to do, and if anybody needs anything, I sure hope you don't lose my phone number. And if you need me to come to your post, especially to talk to folks about renewing their membership, whatever we need to do, let me know, because that's important. That's what we're here for. We're here to be a resource. So make sure you look to your department as a resource. If you have any problems, let me know. Whether it's at your post level, district level, department level. If you got a problem with national, let me know. I'll be more than happy to talk to them about it. But as you can see, Butch Miller called me a week from Friday, and he said, you know, Mike, that whole thing about having a pacemaker put in and stuff, he said, I really just don't like you. And I said, okay, Butch, thanks. And I appreciate his honesty. No, he didn't say that. Jesus. Same people look at me going, oh, man, I can't believe somebody would say that. Butch is a terrific guy. And I told him, I said, hey, you know, if there's a chance in a million that something could happen, I said, no, I don't want you down here. But he said he wants to come down and do something with us. So I'm going to have him come down maybe at the convention or something and address us or do something, because he's a great guy, a great past department commander as well as the national commander. But he's really a great guy, and he works real hard with that American Legion College, of which Teresa and I are both graduates from. One of the things I did learn during this year is that when you're working a full-time job, it's a delicate balancing act. You know, we look for younger people. We say we really want younger people out there. We really want them to take over the leadership roles in the American Legion. But and sometimes I think we just pay it lip service. We go, well, yeah, they're busy. They got a family. Well, you know what? This year, you had a department commander and a membership director. They had full-time jobs. But that really didn't slow them down too much. We made a lot of stuff. We tried not to call on our vice commanders too often. And every time we did, those vice commanders said without a doubt, I'll be there. Or they already said, I figured you wouldn't be able to make it, I'll be there. So that's the kind of backing that makes us do what we do. That's what keeps us going. So I appreciate each and every one of you, from post to district to department, all the way through. I appreciate it very much, because you guys are the ones that make me. I don't do anything. I really don't. I really don't think I do anything to deserve what you've lauded me. But I will continue to help you and help veterans in the whole until I'm done. Are you tapping your foot like I'm going too long, honey? Very good, honey. All right, yeah, keep tapping. But anyways, let me just sign off by thanking you so very much. I appreciate it. And have a safe trip home.
Thank you, Commander.